biomedical engineering, optical engineering. So we've got programs, engineering specific as well as biology, biomathematics, chemistry, data science as well. So we kind of cover every discipline within the STEM fields and at the undergraduate level. So we're focused on traditional undergraduate student. We do have 10 master's degree programs, with engineering management being the most graduate specific. The rest are masters of science in chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, kind of our foundational engineering curriculum. So we have a little under 100 students in the graduate level, just over 2,000 at the undergrad level. And our focus, like I said earlier, is on the traditional undergraduate student. And what we do in a hallmark of a Rose education is that foundation that moves from theoretical to the practical and applied science level of engineering. So we spend a considerable amount of time learning the theories behind various principles, and then learn how to apply them, and learn how to apply them over and over again so that you become well versed in them by the time you graduate and are a true practitioner and ready for industry when the time comes. We are, like I said, with 2,000 students, a small school. That has been a hallmark of our education for over 100 years. We sit in a spot in Indiana, in Terre Haute, where we're located within about an hour or so northeast and northwest of us on two sides to Purdue and the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. So got those massive 40+ thousand student R1 institutions. And then you have our Rose-Hulman educational experience, which is a much more intimate feel. It's a close-knit, closed community where you're working with your classmates to be successful collectively. You'll each be individually successful as well, but it doesn't have that hyper-competitive nature for resources and time and faculty energies. Those are given to every student that are here. So kind of a different dynamic at play in the educational experience. So you're looking for a small school where you're going to be able to have someone who's going to nurture your interests and abilities and push you. Rose-Hulman is certainly the community for that, and the institution for that as well. Just to give you kind of the high level overview, we have 18, like I said, 18 undergrad programs, 10 master's degrees. We have 5 engineering majors that are ranked #1 by US News and World Report for undergraduate engineering. So mechanical engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, software engineering. And then our computer science program is number 51 of all computer science programs at the undergraduate level, regardless of institution size. So incredibly strong. It's also our largest academic program, computer science and mechanical engineering, those 2 degree paths. And we've been the #1 undergrad engineering institution for engineering for the last 23 years for US News and World Report. So just some, kind of, I wouldn't say not important, but not the primary focus of our efforts, but it's certainly a nice recognition of the work our faculty and students and staff do on a year in, year out basis. We do offer 15 minors that are outside of the STEM field. So humanities, social sciences, and the arts, we call them the HSSA here on campus. So you could minor in areas that you already know you have a passion for, or be like a lot of our students who come in and end up kind of falling into a minor after they take a class or two and find a lot of interest in those courses and want to learn a little bit more about international studies or a foreign language, things like that, maybe English. So those are all opportunities that are available to our students, but the predominant focus is on the STEM major or majors that our students are pursuing. So 150 different courses to be able to, broaden your horizons and meet what are 9 requirements of your overall educational experience that have to be outside of the STEM discipline. So just to give you a little bit of a context there of the overall program. For those of you that are in your junior or senior year or second and third year in high school, we offer some summer programs for students that come from all over the globe to participate in all over the country and all over the globe to participate here. Operation Catapult being kind of the most famous nationally and in some international circles as well, for a 12-day intensive engineering program for students that aren't yet in college. Rose Accelerate and Rose Squared, and 2 programs that came about a year ago in a formal manner. Rose Squared is a program for students coming in with a high level of IB or AP credit work, coursework, and success on those end of year exams, where students are able to expedite the master's degree program and earn a bachelor's in whatever discipline they want of those 18 majors, while earning a master's degree in engineering management. The intent of that program is for students to be able to graduate on time, having worked through the process, without having to take overloads or be in a situation where it's overly burdensome per se. So I can fill you in more on that, but wanted to just give you a bit of an opportunity to understand that. There's about 20% of our incoming class this year are taking part in Rose Squared. So it's not something you have to determine on your way into Rose-Hulman, but you do during your freshman year or first year on campus. So our faculty, the students are the lifeblood and what the institution revolves around, and the faculty are the first line there to help obviously broaden your understanding on the theoretical and applied side, but broadly educationally speaking about your overall experience. And then also in many instances, your professional peers and mentors, people that you'll stay close with for many years and decades after you graduate from Rose-Hulman. They are an incredibly gifted and accomplished individual. They're also very much so recognized as leaders in their field, but they are committed expressly to undergraduate education and helping develop you as a young engineer and scientist. So wanted to just touch on that a little bit, but obviously I could talk about them and you and their interactions quite extensively. Our Center for Global Engagement works on both an inbound and outbound. So it's the office that coordinates international student services coming into campus for you as international students enrolling at Rose-Hulman, as well as experiences for our students departing campus and going around the globe. Obviously, COVID has we anticipate back to normal and being a important part of the experience for both international and domestic students at Rose. Our Center for Diversity and Inclusion houses a lot of programs. It's not just a program related to diversity itself. It's thinking more broadly about diversity at Rose-Hulman. So whether that be international students, domestic students of color, also female students, as female students are underrepresented in STEM fields across the country and around the globe, they are as well at STEM institutions. So we're about 25% female. We used to be single gender. We were only male students until about 21, 22 years ago now. So we're still kind of growing. And as the K through 12 or the high school level starts to change and we see more female students go into STEM, we've continued to see our efforts to recruit those students improve as well. Career Services is the first and primary stop in assisting you with internships, co-ops, and obviously with your career after you get out of Rose-Hulman. They play a very important role as part of that mentorship and leadership for you working through your experience at Rose-Hulman. So you'll meet with them right away, typically during orientation. This year we even had a number of members of the Career Services staff reaching out to students who were coming in the summer prior to their arrival to help assist with their transition to school too. So they're more than just someone who helps craft a resume for you. They are people who are genuinely here to help make your experience as an undergrad even better and to prepare you for life afterwards as well. They're also there for you as a resource coming back later on in your career if you need help hiring more students for your company as you go out to work, or if you're looking to make changes in your career too. Those things are always available to you after you graduate. Experiential learning is not just in the laboratory, it's also experiences that go outside of the laboratory. So it's those internships and co-ops. With our academic schedule, you're able to do pretty extensive internships that mirror a lot of co-op type experiences. We also have co-ops, so certainly available to you as well. As you can see here, we have a significant amount of students that take part in these opportunities, in addition to research in the classroom, research on campus as part of Rose Ventures, and that's also an internship opportunity too. But there's an awful lot that goes into making sure you're competitive, and that's the whole point of those experiential opportunities as you work your way through Rose-Hulman. We have our big career fair, our fall career fair coming up at the end of this week, actually, where we'll have a few hundred employers on campus. It's a really exciting time every year These employers, not just the ones in the logos on the bottom, but hundreds of other employers come to campus to hire our students. So that could be for your internship after your freshman year, or it could be after you graduate. So those are always really exciting times. There's a lot of alums that come back representing their companies to hire other Rose-Hulman students and alums. So it's always a fun time for us here and exciting for our students as well. As a small school, as you can imagine, we're very engaged. Campus is very, very, very deeply engaged, and that means it's academically at the root of it, and then our co-curricular working in the Innovation Center, the Branham and the Kramer Innovation Centers, we call them the BIC and the KIC. They're great makerspaces where students can do everything from a concrete canoe, working on a biodiesel fuel car, woodworking and AutoCAD, and robotics competition teams are in there, as well as autonomous driving and autonomous drone flying clubs, 3D printers, more than you could ever imagine. All of those things are in the student innovation centers and available for students to do in adjacent to their academic experience, or just for pure fun and passion and interest to learn new things. But outside of the kind of STEM specific related, performing arts are very big for us. We have a number of students who were first and second chair in various musical performances and orchestra during their high school experiences, and they want to continue that here at Rose. Hatfield Hall is a gorgeous facility for our performing arts. And so we have students that take part in theater 3 times a year, or as a part of our symphony orchestra, playing at some of our music, our sporting events, as well as obviously as having an athletic department. 5% of students are Division III athletes. We also have quite a substantial amount of students that take part in a little more leisurely like activities. So that could be esports or frisbee golf, things like that. And then the clubs and organizations are well over 100 on campus. So just highlighting a little bit here in the presentation. We are a Greek campus with fraternities and sororities here on campus. They're really great groups of young people who do a wonderful job of representing their Greek organizations, but just are broadly wonderful members of the community here at Rose-Hulman. So happy to talk more about those. Obviously, student government, Engineers Without Borders, a lot of various affinity engineering groups that are both nationally and internationally in some instances. Great, easy opportunity for you to get engaged in those, learn about them. The first few weeks of school every year, the big organization fair that works through that, but a great opportunity to do things you already love or find new passions that you might not have yet discovered, but you will when you get here and find your other classmates and faculty and staff on campus involved in some of these activities. From an application standpoint, our application
Hi, everyone. Give us 1 second. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Oh, Bobby, you're back.
I am back. Sorry about that. You ready for me to begin?
Yeah, you can start right when you're ready.
Okay. Great. All righty, wonderful. Sorry about that, everybody. And so
Bobby, your audio is cutting out. Hi, everyone. Just give us 1 second. It looks like we're having a little bit of difficulties with his connection. Just trying to get him back. Give me a second here. Thank you. Bobby, can you hear us? Okay, do you want to just finish up with any questions? Bobby, you're just gonna have to unmute yourself and then maybe just take any questions that we have here.
Hi, Marco. Sorry, I had the 2 calls going simultaneously, but sorry, everybody. I apologize for the inconvenience. I'm not in the office, thus the internet instability. But there was one question I saw in the Q&A. I don't have it up anymore, but it was about health sciences and So we have a biology and a pre-health profession track that students don't have to necessarily be in biology to pursue. Most of our students actually in the pre-med track who go off to medical school tend to be in the chemical engineering or Chem-E side, as well as biology and biomedical engineering, but they're all focused on kind of a broad set there. So we do have both of those programs. I'm not sure if there's any other questions at this point.
Yeah, I can actually answer. I can read them out to you. So the next question is, hi, good morning. I would like to know the qualifications needed by a foreign student to join your school.
Sure. So as far as the set bare minimum requirements, what we're looking for is obviously English proficiency that can be demonstrated either through the SAT or ACT, through TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, Pearson Test of English, or through your curriculum. So if you've been educated in a school that at least the curriculum is in English, that would satisfy the requirement as well. We don't require the SAT or ACT right now. We're optional for fall 2022. But we do encourage students to submit the scores if you have them. And then application-wise, the transcript, obviously looking for your first 3 years of high school, 2 years in some countries as well. It certainly meets that requirement as well. And know show what courses you're taking this year as you go to finish your senior year, if you are in fact a senior at this time. Otherwise, it's just the application fee, which is $60. Those are the only requirements that we have for the actual application process.
Okay, so another question is, what are the possibilities for international students to get scholarships at Rose-Hulman?
Sure. So about 2 years ago, we made the change where international students get the same scholarships as domestic students. So all you have to do is apply. 100% of our international students will get merit scholarship. If you apply through early action, you'll be considered for Noblet scholars, which is a whole litany of scholarship opportunities for students, ranging from being a computer science student to very specifically focused on community service, things like that. It really runs the gamut. There's about 50 different types of scholarships that you can get through there, but they all come via the Noblet scholars, which is essentially an honors program type experience for students at us. And you have to go through the early action application, and then we'll send out any scholarship info to you that we think you'd be eligible for. So you don't actually have to do anything on your end other than complete the application for admission.
Awesome. The next question is, I live in Canada. How can I apply?
Just like any other student, domestic or international, apply via the Common App or the Rose-Hulman application. Either one works, and that's all you have to do. There's nothing specific to it when you residency status on the application to know that it's Canada, and that's really the only difference for you is where that you're denoting Canada instead of the U.S. or another country.
Perfect. So, can international students work on campus?
They can. So once you get to campus, over the course of the first few weeks or month or so, the International Student Services Office and some of the team in there will help you get situated as long as there's no visa restriction. But most students that come on an F1 are able to get a social security number and then gain employment on campus and earn some income while they're there as well.
We have a few more questions here before we wrap up. So, hi, do you have a psychology program?
We do not. You can take some psychology courses at the minor level, but it's not as a major, only STEM majors.
Okay. Good morning. I'm from Honduras, Central America. Are there possibilities for obtaining scholarships? So I think you may have answered that one already.
Yep, most certainly.
Do you have graduate programs in telecom?
We do not. We have 10 master's degree programs, but they are, for the most part, in our engineering sciences or engineering management.
Awesome. Is there any additional information about tuition and fees for chemical engineering program?
So all fees and tuition are exactly the same regardless of academic program. So in total, we tell students to the estimate right now will set the actual cost for next year coming up in the next few weeks. It'll be about approximately $70,000 per year for 4 years, and that's tuition, fees, room and board, all of that. So obviously, as you move up in housing and years, you don't have to have the same meal plan. You can live in different housing that's a little less expensive if you'd like, and mitigate some of those costs or move off campus if you want to. But generally thinking that tuition's around $52,000 and then about $18,000 for overall expenses for room and board and miscellaneous expenses, books, things like that.
Well, okay, we have another minute. We'll take one more question. Does the school have athletic scholarships?
We do not. As a NCAA Division III school, all of our student athletes are non-scholarship athletes, and they're viewed in the same way as someone with no athletic interest as far as application, acceptance, as well as financial aid and scholarship. So it's an even playing field across the board, regardless of athletics or not.
Awesome. And one last question. It's a quick one. What is the student population in total for your school?
That's about 2,149.
Awesome. Okay, well, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. And if you did miss it, the session will be posted on our YouTube page tomorrow. So if maybe you have any final thoughts for students here before we close out.
It's obviously not an ideal situation where you can't come and visit campus, but I would encourage you to reach out to us and other schools you're looking at, and we'd be happy to connect you with current international students who could give you a little perspective of what life's like for them, having made the move to Terre Haute, Indiana.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bobby, and for everyone who came.
Sure.
If you have more questions for Bobby, you can check out his booth over in the universities tab on the platform. So thank you again for everyone who came out. Have a good one.
Thanks, Marco. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.